welcome to the Rate the Season of Death Battle Season 9. Now, joining me for this, for the first time on these Rate the Seasons, is a fellow reactor that I actually... Mind turning up my voice on... volume on my end? Oh, hang on, let me do that real quick. So, let's get this over with. So, anyways, like I said, let me call Bakugan and we'll get ready for this crazy shit show. Oh, and my Discord's doing it again. And Discord's doing it again. Oh, god damn it. Let me see here. What the hell's going on? I wasn't expecting it to do that. I need to fix the Discord real quick. Let me quit Discord real quick and restart it. Ugh, this is not how I imagined the first attempt at this. Alright, let's see if it actually can pick up my voice. There we go. Don't know why it didn't do that, but anyway. So yeah,
Okay.
joining me for the first time on these Rate the Seasons is Bakugan, who usually does the reacts with me.
Yeah, I thought we can do something a little more different for a change.
So
We use predictions.
we also do the predictions. Now, I'm gonna come clean and make a note of this, as I also turn on music. I am not rating all the previous episodes I've already rated. I've already done those. The ones we're focusing on are from Jinx versus Harley Quinn all the way to Gogeta versus Vegito.
Yeah, I don't know why they're there.
I tried finding one that just had the Season 9 episodes, but I could not find anything.
That's okay. You ready to start the tier list? Oh, the stream paused on me.
Wait, it did? Oh.
Yeah.
There. Is that better?
Yeah.
Alright, so, for starters, this is how I rate the tier list. Like, 13 out of 10 is like the S rank, the Platinum Trophy, or whatever. The 0 out of 10 is the Brown Trophy, which I was gonna give that to Gogeta versus Vegito, but I had a change of heart and noticed how of an ass I sounded in that react.
Okay, what made you have a change of heart from that fight?
Mainly because, one, I'm supposed to be impartial, I'm supposed to give my opinions. Well, yes, I have every right to shit on Gogeta versus Vegito, but the way I did it, I went too far.
Okay, my pros and cons for the fight is that the fight itself was really well animated. I'll give it that, but I kind of hated how the end kind of turned out.
So yeah, we'll save Gogeta versus Vegeta for last to put on the tier list, but let's start with, we should start from the beginning. Jinx versus Harley Quinn. It is something it is something different for a change.
Yeah, I like this fight. This is my first time seeing a non-Marvel character win against a DC character. We had some other non-Marvel characters like Ben 10, Archie Sonic, and Goku Black fight against DC characters, and they lost. And Harley Quinn is the first of them to actually win.
Yeah, and, well, to be fair, League of Legends had some pretty ridiculous feats.
Yeah, but League of Legends is also a really stupid fucking game.
Hey, I'm actually looking forward to their fighting game, because I'm a big fighting game fan.
Wait, they're making a fighting game?
Oh yeah!
Since when?
A while now. It's still in the works.
I didn't know they were making a fighting game. All I knew is that they made a TV show, which I kind of heard was good, but I didn't want to watch it because it was part of a game I don't even like. And another game that I don't know or haven't played.
Well, if I definitely recommend Maximilian, dude, because he's actually seen footage of this game's work in progress and whatnot.
Okay, I also... Alright.
Anyways, so I'm gonna have to scroll up. Ugh. Okay, so I'm gonna say a 9 out of 10 area.
Okay, so what makes you give this game a 9 out of 10?
It's a solid start. It's a pretty solid start. That's pretty much where I think, and that's why I even made it to where 7 out of 10 and 8 out of 10 are also in this category, so that way I don't have to make a bunch of other categories.
Okay then. Alright, next fight. Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna.
3 out of 10.
Yeah, I hated this fight too. Why couldn't Scarlet remove her mouth like she did in the movie?
Here's the thing. I think they were just focusing on comic book Scarlet, and yes, I get it. It's either the Marvel character or the DC character wins when it comes to these scenarios, but it just felt boring. Like, the music didn't click well, and not to mention, like, the kill was anticlimactic. Oh, died by a magic trick, so zany.
Like I said, Kill removed her mouth like what she did to Black Bolt. Alright, next fight.
I believe that would be Tundra. Okay, you know what? I was gonna give this a 10 out of 10, but you know what? This one actually had some story to it. That's another.
Yeah.
This one's a 13.
Yeah, this episode made me sad.
It actually made me cry. Like, this one actually made me cry. And this
I have a hard.
actually.
I have a hard.
Now that I think about it, I think we started reacting together. Which episode did we start reacting together?
I think it was Black Adam versus Apocalypse.
It was either that or James. Yeah, it was that one, because James Bond. It was up till James Bond I didn't think of reacting with you at the time.
Oh, well, probably because I was off on a vacation and, yeah.
So, yeah.
Alright.
So, Tundra versus Jonathan, 13 out of 10.
I'm not gonna lie.
Best storytelling, best animation, and definitely an emotional soundtrack.
Yeah, I have a hard time crying. But
And that one also got me to watch more Demon Slayer as well.
I've actually been a pretty solid JoJo fan since, like, part 1 through part 5. Our next episode, Thor versus Vegeta.
Now, this one, at first I had low expectations, but they somehow managed to prove me wrong.
I was actually hoping for Vegeta in this fight because I thought this man would easily take on Thor like he did in 1 Minute Melee. But then I got upset, then I started to reconsider, and then I realized, you know what? They were right. Vegeta ended up getting clapped by Thor because of Mjolnir.
And bear in mind, this was just standard base Thor. Not Cosmic Thor, not any other variant of Thor, it was just standard Marvel Thor.
Yeah, Vegeta stood no chance against him.
Even if they did use those other versions, he still would have got clapped.
Yeah, Vegeta no chance against Paul.
And I even said, and you know what, where we're gonna put this? You know what, solid 10. Solid 10 for proving me wrong. Mainly,
yeah.
And I even said during that prediction, and Galactus doesn't fuck around. He literally devours planets.
So does Unicron.
Which is exactly why I knew Vegeta had no chance against him. Alright.
What episode? Oh, this is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. This episode is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Even though the fight was short, we all knew that Homelander was gonna get clapped.
I'll give it an extra point for having a wicked soundtrack, and I've seen fan videos with that song, like for The Boys, like the TV series. I've seen them use the song in a clip of The Boys where souped up freaking Billy Butcher and Soldier Boy teamed up against Homelander, and it had the song playing in it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm giving this fight an extra point just because the song sounded epic.
I did like how Huey started to teleport in the fight, but the only thing that cost him was his clothes.
Yeah.
Funny thing, I went to DeviantArt and I actually saw some fan art of the boys. I actually seen some variants for the 3 seasons. I even see some kind of Marvel vs. Capcom-esque looking fan art where Soldier Boy, Billy Butcher, and Huey were fighting against Homelander in a classic arcade style. It even has some kind of generic Super Bar and stuff. Temp V and Compound V.
Now that I think about, why the hell isn't there a boys fighting game? That actually would be fucking fun to play.
Funny enough, I would have been intrigued if there was like a boys point and click adventure game.
Hell,
Maybe.
Mortal Kombat could easily go to Amazon, get one of the characters from the boys, and put them in the game. I highly recommend it because the boys is very fucking violent.
The only fair character I would put in is Soldier Boy because he actually doesn't have some kind of like well, he does have that weird explosion thing whenever he gets PTSD from that song, but still, that could be his fatality.
It could be one of his fatalities. I mean,
funny enough, in the comics, there were actually 2 versions of Soldier Boys. One that actually died in the war. The other one was a piss poor coward that wet himself all the time. Yeah, I knew about this. He actually acted like one of those sidekicks that go like golly gee or gee whiz, and then he shouted like the name of the states. Yeah, that I already knew. Yeah, I'm glad they changed him up for the show. Like, yeah, you know the one term where people say the books are better than the adaptation. Well, the boys actually prove them wrong and the TV series has some better moments than what they do in the comics. Yeah, there are some. They even make fun of companies or whatnot. Like they kind of make fun of companies of what they do. They even make fun of sponsors and stuff. Yeah, so anyways, enough rambling on about the boys. Let's see here, where is it? This one. I am giving this a 12. I actually like the fight, too. There's a reason. I, at first, was so mad that it wasn't Mewtwo versus Tetsuo, but then after judging it, after watching it, they made this fight fucking respectable. Yeah, they did. They respected the source material of Akira, and yes, this is coming from someone who's a big Akira fan. I actually started to watch Akira, but I haven't managed to fully finish it. I managed to get to this one part where Akira met these 2 children-looking espers, children-looking espers in like a daycare or something. You mean Tetsuo, right? Yes. Yeah, so they respected the source material. They even made it to where it was a mercy kill. I mean, hell, it was technically a mercy kill in the original source material anyways. And it wasn't disrespectful at all. Like, they made this fight fucking respectable. Yeah, I'll give them that. Now, to be honest, it could have been Mewtwo versus Tetsuo, honestly. I mean, yes, the connections are there for Mewtwo versus Tetsuo, mainly because both were experimented in a lab, both went on a rampage, and both wanted revenge for their own goals. Plus, I don't think they would have let Mewtwo use his other forms, Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y. They probably would have, considering how Tetsuo does mutate. So it makes total sense. Either. They probably still would have, but anyways. What's next? Oh! Solid 13. Where did I like this fight. Where the fuck did I put it? I think you put it in the tier list, but in the wrong place. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it was dragged in the middle of the pile. Anyways, 13 out of 10. I like this fight. I love mythologies. I nerd. If you tell me anything about mythologies, I fucking nerd out about them. At first, I thought Sun Wukong would stand no chance against Hercules, but turns out he actually when they get into the research when he lifted 1,000-pound mountain or something, they actually proved me wrong. Not to mention, I even said in the prediction that there has been many varied tales on the tale of Hercules, and I
And I even said some people might be only familiar with the Disney tale, but that's not the kind of tale that the original myth was based on. The myth itself was tragic as hell.
Yeah, I didn't think they would actually use the original mythologies. In fact, they could actually do some other mythology-based fights as well, like the mythology, like the people who,
like can we get Anubis versus Hades, please?
How about mythology speeds? Hermes versus who do you think will fight against him?
I'm not too sure. I'd have to look and see who's in the speed type. Anyways, Boba Fett versus Predator. Now, I know a lot of people didn't really care for this episode. I'm putting it in a 10, mainly because, one, I would say I ended up underestimating my stepdad, who is a big Star Wars fan.
At first, I thought Predator had this in the bag, but I was kind of wrong on this as well. I'm actually surprised that Boba Fett managed to survive that explosion.
Though, the reason why it's not a 12 or 11 or even a 13 is, well, the cons is, well, they didn't really get the color of the explosion right.
Yeah, they didn't.
Like, there was a few things wrong with it, but it's a pretty decent episode.
Yeah, it is.
Still better than fucking Scarlet Witch versus Satana.
Fuck that fight. Alright, Black Adam versus Apocalypse. No,
Oh.
Raiden versus Excalibur. Yeah.
11.
Yeah,
Even though I lost that one deserves an 11. That one got me... That reignited my interest for Warframe.
Yeah, I actually have 3 pros about this fight. The soundtrack was good, the fight was super dope, and I actually like that Wiz and Boobstick was interfering in the fight. The only problem is that Raiden should have won, in my opinion.
But I can understand why he lost, mainly because Warframe's shit is, pretty ridiculous.
It should have been Hakumen, in my opinion.
I would have been voting against Hakumen like a madman, mainly because I don't like Hakumen and BlazBlue.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Hakumen's sword doesn't even make any sense. James Bond versus John Wick.
I thought Wick would have won, but...
We underestimated Bond.
We underestimated the gadgets, let's just say that. How do we think we should rate this? 10?
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Or 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually like...
Pretty decent episode. Love the fact that they actually included every gadget for Bond. They even included the Aston Martin, which was a nice touch. Though, the first part of the thing was a little bit janky at the start, but it ended up improving over time.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the animation. It did give me, like, Link versus Cloud vibes, but then it also combined with, Shao Kahn versus Akuma vibes, too.
Though, Shao Kahn versus Akuma was a 6 out of 10 for me when I rated that, and it was clearly not as good as the 13 out of 10 that was Link versus Cloud.
Yeah. The animation was pretty solid. I kind of wish that John would have won, but...
But I can understand why he didn't win, because Bond has been... For one, Bond has been around a lot longer than Wick has. And...
Yeah, John hasn't been able to dodge any bullet fire, because it's not physically possible for a human to dodge bullet fire like it's paper mache or whatever.
And this was around the time that the 4th film was still in development. In fact, now that I think about it, I think it's still in development. I'm not too sure. So...
Yeah.
And the only chronological game that he had was the prequel game called John Wick Hex.
Oh, wait, that game's a prequel to the first film?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't think he had a prequel game.
Yeah, that game takes place with him being in his prime, before he retired and whatnot.
Fair point. Next fight, Black Adam versus Apocalypse.
This one, solid 13. Solid 13. Mainly because...
We knew that Apocalypse would win, because Apocalypse has no weakness.
Apocalypse had no weakness. Like, sure, he used to, but he didn't. Nowadays, he don't, because that Death Seed is a royal pain in the ass.
Plus, I don't. Plus, I don't think that even if you destroy the Death Seed, he could still regenerate.
Exactly. And it also didn't help that he had the technogenic virus, which surprisingly he didn't infect Black Adam with, which was a little weird, but...
Yeah, but that could have worked in the fight nonetheless, and Black Adam would still lose.
But I guess they just knew that Apocalypse was just too OP. They just ran out of time or something.
You wanna know what's also weird? Every time, if I had a nickel for every time that The Rock was in the...
I'm surprised they didn't make another one with The Rock. Like, they took the guy from the Rampage movie that he played and put him against someone. I'm surprised they didn't do that.
Yeah, but it isn't a lot, but it's weird that happened twice, honestly. Not to have a problem with.
And let's not forget the Black Adam and Apocalypse music was amazing.
Yeah, I actually like Fallen Gods. The movie itself, however, I don't think it did any good. It did give me, like, Morbius vibes, though.
No, the Black Adam movie actually was pretty good.
Yeah.
Same can't be said for the movie that Apocalypse was in. Yeah,
Right.
I didn't like that version of Apocalypse. They underplayed Apocalypse in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyways.
What about Dr. Manhattan versus Silver Surfer? I know it's not a fight in the 9th season, but do you think it would be a good matchup?
Possible. I mean, I know we haven't had a Watchmen character yet.
Yeah, but isn't Watchmen part of DC?
Technically, yes. Considering that whole Watchmen arc or whatever that happened, and then they're like, oh hey, Watchmen's a part of DC now.
Was it part of...
I forget what it was called. I think it was what was the comic? Watchmen DC crossover comic.
Let's just go back on topic.
Doomsday Clock. That's what it was called. Anyway,
Let's go back to the tier.
Next match.
What was the next matchup?
Trunks versus Silver. You know where I'm putting. It did it again. There you go. Platinum trophy. Platinum trophy. You wanna know why? And I don't care if you Dragon Ball fans are salty about this one. I don't hate Trunks. I just got tired of him winning every single versus show. Every single time.
Yeah,
Almost.
for some reason, every versus show, they let him win for every character they fought against. So, yeah, I hate this community, but I'm finally glad that Silver won against Trunks. Even though they put in their non-canon counterparts, it's still Trunks versus Silver nonetheless.
And it had a badass song.
Yeah, and then that poster I sent you on Discord, Trunks was holding the key sword. No, Silver was holding the key sword.
And yet, everyone doesn't understand that Archie Comics is known to be broken. Like,
yeah.
Why do you think they pitted Archie Sonic against Wally West Flash to find someone closely to that brokenness?
I feel like the Archie Sonic universe is way more broken than the irregular Sonic universe.
Oh yeah, it is. Let's see.
Yeah. I heard here says it's at least playable. Oh my god, this episode.
You know what? 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
It was kind of sad.
It was sad, but it had some comedic moments.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
In fact, this was the actual debut of my first VTuber model.
This kind of gives me the vibes of Homelander versus Omni-Man.
And it's still a weird episode. Like, they were gonna put this... Here's what's funny. They were gonna do this on the Halloween episode date, but they decided to swap it.
Yeah. It could have been SpongeBob versus Chowder or Gumball.
Which, to me, that was a really good call, because we needed the Halloween episode anyway.
Yeah.
Though, Jason versus Michael, 8 out of 10.
Yeah. These two only got 10% of screen time, while the Survivor had 90% until he died.
And sure, I get it. They didn't really have much of a they had a budget constraint when it came to like killers and whatnot. I guess they were trying to channel what both these horror movies built, suspense and
Yeah,
whatnot. So
yeah, but they could have at least thought of some ways for them to
the
know
reason why
how.
the big reason why it's not a 9 out of 10 is that because of the Saw name.
Yeah, I didn't like the title. Thank God it's Halloween or TGIF.
Like they could have titled it Friday the 31st. What a wasted opportunity.
Or the 13th Halloween. But that was already taken for the commission track.
And that's why I said just title it Friday the 31st.
At first, I thought Jason would have fought against Freddy Krueger, but we already know how that.
We already know how that fight goes down. Jason wins.
Yeah, you can't really kill a zombie.
And
A killer. What fight is that? Oh, Sauron versus the Lich King.
13.
Yes!
Fantasy fight all the way. I love my fantasy fights.
Sauron had thousands of years of experience, while the Lich King was in his 20s.
Exactly. Like, it's... And as a friend of mine said, Sauron's basically the devil of Middle-earth.
Yeah, and the Lich King is basically like,
just a human possessed by armor that was possessed by a ogre spirit or whatever. Again, I'm not familiar with Lorecraft lore as much, but... I mean, I still learned a bunch of lore from the game.
Yeah.
At least. Let's see here. What's next?
Deku versus Asta.
This one, I'm gonna... I know. We're having a lot of 13s and 12s. What do you think?
Let's put this in I give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. It had good music. I like the animation, but they could have at least gave Deku a little bit more of his attacks, like Manchester Smash and Delaware Detroit Smash or whatever.
Or Ohio Smash.
Does he have Ohio Smash in the manga?
I don't think so, but it would have been funny if he had an attack name called Ohio Smash.
I mean, All Might does the fucking states, so it's no surprise.
There's a reason why I said Ohio Smash, because people made memes about Ohio being a landscape. If Ohio Smash just sends you to Ohio.
Fair point. Now for the one that I had to change a heart with.
Gogeta versus Vegito. Like you said, 4 out of 10.
The highest I will give it is
5.
Is a 5.
I did like the animation. It looked pretty solid, but I kind of hated how...
The animation was decent, but the final blow was...
really stupid.
It was really anticlimactic, and the way they explained how Vegito won was really dumb.
Yeah, to be fair, they would have had like him fighting against Shattuck. Gogeta versus Shattuck. I know I'm entering in fan territory, but come on! When was the last time you seen a fan character fighting against another one?
Well, Gogeta and Vegeta are not really fan characters, though. That's the thing.
I know. But it would have been cool to see a canon character fight against a fanon character, in my opinion. It would have been really cool.
True. But yeah, this is how I rate Season 9.
Yeah.
And hopes to a better finale in Season 10. So yeah.
It's way better.
So yeah, like I said before, I am not rating all the other episodes I've already rated before. You can already see those videos or whatever. I don't think I made a video for the first 7 seasons or whatever.
Yeah, fuck rating the other episodes. We're only doing this for Season 9. So, Storm, you ready for the prediction tomorrow?
Oh yeah. Which one are we gonna start with first? Cole McGrath or the Bill and Discord one?
I want to do Cole McGrath versus Alex Mercer, because that is the fight we've all been waiting for, and I'm not wasting this chance.
Fair point. So
I don't really like the idea of Bill versus Discord, because 1, I freaking hate My Little Pony, and 2, I've actually used to watch Gravity Falls, and it was a pretty decent show. To be fair, it could have been Bill versus Sans.
I will say this. The only reason why I'm somewhat excited for Bill versus Discord is mainly because I know who Discord is, and I used to watch My Little Pony, but when the show started dying down, I just stopped watching.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that the show's literally for little girls, and men in their 30s watch that show.
And
there was also some drama recycling around that time about pedos and stuff.
it's a complicated mess. And the
Yeah.
only reason why I know Bill is because while I may have not watched Gravity Falls, and I don't know what Bill is capable of,
Funny enough,
I
Bill was
I have seen Bill versus Sans in 1 Minute Melee.
and that fight is pretty cool. And I like the Ed and Eddie reference they made.
The Ed, and Eddie reference where you're going, the hat of discipline, do you live in a cave?
Oh, right, I forgot that line. I don't mind seeing Invincible versus Nova in the fight.
Like, that would be interesting. I mean,
People suggest Invincible versus Spider-Man?
I could have sworn they suggested Invincible versus Gohan or some shit like that.
Or Saitama.
Saitama would fucking
Fuck him. Yeah.
clap him because it's not like Popeye versus Saitama where Popeye had way more ridiculous feats than anything.
Yeah.
And we had a bot that showed up in the chat feed. I better get rid of that. I don't know what the bot was. No, I don't want to. Okay, my chat feed's being a real fucking wonk. It probably won't show up on my OBS, but I'll just say if anybody sees that, just ignore that. Just ignore the bot that showed up in my chat feed, because quite frankly, I don't like dealing with bots. Anyways, yeah.
That has been the prediction. Oh, the stream ended on me.
Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked it out. But yeah,
Anyways, that was the tier list ranking for the episodes. I'll see you for the prediction tomorrow, Storm. And which character do you want to do for the prediction?
I'll do Cole.
I'll do Alex as well.
I'll do Cole, mainly because I love Infamous.
Fair enough. And I'll basically do Alex Mercer. Funny enough, just imagine if he fought against Senator Armstrong.
It would be crazy, but yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention, even if Alex tries to find a way to put like a virus in him, Senator Armstrong would overpower him.
So yeah, that would be this tier list rating.
Oh yeah, here's some things I actually found about Infamous's Cole. Turns out, the good karma is actually his canon counterpart, and his evil karma counterpart is actually in an alternate timeline.
So yeah, knowing them, they're probably gonna focus on good Cole.
Yeah, because Infamous has a mechanic that lets you choose which path you want to take, good or evil.
And that's what I like about games with karma systems. Karma systems change up the game. Like, it changes up the story and everything.
Like Mass Effect.
And true, I was thinking Shadow the Hedgehog because there is a karma system in that game as well. Because
All right. Thank you for having me on your tier list, Storm. I'll see you tomorrow for the prediction of Cole McGrath versus Alex Mercer. And thank you for having me on your stream.
yeah, no problem. I'll definitely save the tier list image. I will share that. But yeah, this was the tier list. Anyways, I don't know what I'll be streaming today after this, but I'm hoping to see if I can find some Doom wads or whatever. If anybody's got some Doom wads for me, let me know. I will give them a look. Uh, yeah, till then, your Captain Hitchfeet signing off. I'll see you in the next stream. So, good day, everybody.